Hello traders, good morning. Welcome to this video on the euro dollar and pound dollar. My name is Chris from Elite Currency. Let's start off with the euro dollar weekly chart. Now we're in a very big bearish momentum at this moment. Last week's candle was a doji indeed, but I don't think it's a reversal sign. It's just an indecision moment. But otherwise, if we look at lower time frames, the momentum is strong to the downside. If we do look at the bigger weekly chart here, you can see that every time price made a lower low, there was a strong bullish pullback, all right? And that happened about 7 times. Here, I don't expect that. But, of course, if price breaks above 109, 109.50, then that might happen again. But for the moment, I do expect that this is a wave 3. You know, it looks very much like a wave 3, and I'm expecting wave 4s and 5s, 4 5s like this to continue. At least towards the 223.6 fib, as you can see here at 105.75. First major level, of course, would be 107.50. That's a quarter level. But I expect price eventually to break through that and head towards this fib, in fact, and maybe even down to 105. This fib, by the way, these fib levels are really, really strong, very useful tool. It's basically automatically plotting these Fibonacci targets and levels. It's a tool from Mislav Nikolic, our partner with Ultima EA, of course. As you might know, we've been mentioning it quite a lot of times in these videos. The Ultima EA is doing great. And besides the Ultima EA, he's also the creator of this indicator, and you can find it on our website as well, Elite Currency. We're offering his tool there. It's really very strong in targeting, all right? Can't recommend it more. So that's the target, 223.6 fib there for the downside. Now, let's zoom into lower time frames, okay? Let's go to the daily. And we see bullish engulfing twins here, but I don't think that's really a reversal sign. You can see how many daily candles continuously pushing with lower lows, and that's just massive momentum, amazing push here, and I think that's a wave 3. And if we zoom out a little bit like that, I think it's actually kind of a wave 1-2, wave 1-2, and it's some type of 3-4-5, 3-4-5. I don't know, maybe even more. Maybe another four times wave 4-5. So a lot of downside pressure I'm expecting, because if price gets back to the 20 EMA on this daily chart, that will be a bouncing spot. But it could easily continue lower for another lower low before getting to the 20 EMA. So we could have wave 4-5, wave 4-5, like this, and another 4-5. Because if price gets to the 20 EMA after that many candles moving away from the 20 EMA, it is very, very likely that it will be a resistance and bouncing spot. Okay, so basically I'm expecting a follow through here on the daily, but I'm not sure that prices are going to go back that far now. I think actually if you look at the lower time frame, that we're going to see a bearish continuation sooner to hit 107.50, and then we might get a pullback into the 20 EMA. But keep in mind, this 20 EMA is going to be very strong resistance, and it's very likely to be a bouncing spot for downtrend continuation, because this is typical wave 3 momentum. This HMA is so bearish, the price movement so fast moving away from the 20 EMA, the continuous lower lows for so many candles, that's typical. All right, so let's take a look at the 4-hour chart now. 1 second, there we go. And it looks like we had a pullback indeed here. So if we get a bounce up, which could happen because it could be a B, C pattern like this, then I would expect probably, let's put the fib for the moment from here to here. And I would expect 108.90-ish there, 108.87, 108.75 in general to be a resistance spot for a 38.2 fib bounce. Okay, so somewhere here, if price might bounce up, and I would expect to bounce back down again. That could complete basically a bearish or bullish ABC, excuse me, within a wave 4. And that could be the end of wave 4 and the start of wave 5. So then a re-break below the 20 EMA is likely to send this lower down to 107.50 like that. That's for the moment what I expect. Now, if price does break below 107.80, well, then a bearish breakout is becoming more likely. But the problem is the target is at 107.50 because that's a round level, maybe 107.25. So the breakout really doesn't have much space. So I would rather see it move up, hit this 108.75 zone, and then bounce there, because then there's space from 108.75 down to 107.50. That's 125 pips. that could make sense. Even the break of the 21 EMA here from 108.20 down to 107.50, 70 pips, right? And maybe price can extend down to 107.25. The breakout here just doesn't have space. I wouldn't really trade it that much or at all. I would rather wait for a break at a bounce at 108.75 or a re-break below the 20 EMA after that, or price bouncing at the 107.50 and then completing wave 4 and looking for a continuation lower, something like that. But this looks like massive momentum, and I'm expecting a continuation after the pullback basically is completed. All right, pullback now or at 107.50. Now, the pound USD, a little bit more complex because the upside was quite aggressive. Now, I was leaning towards this maybe being a wave 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of a bigger ABC pattern like this. And while with such an aggressive up move, I don't think it's necessarily a wave 4 anymore. That doesn't seem that likely, I guess. So what could happen is that the ABC pattern has been completed, and maybe this was a complex correction completed like this, WXY. We did bounce at that 50 fib. So 50 fib is holding for the moment. Might be the end of the wave 4, and this could be maybe the uptrend for the pound. But I don't know. It's really difficult to say. It's quite choppy and corrective. It could easily continue with this range-bound price action as well, to be honest. But yeah, it's not as bearish as it did look with this momentum. Let me say it this way. It certainly kind of lost its charm for downtrend continuation. So a little bit hesitant on that. You see maybe a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pattern developing. Well, if that's the case, then I'll put the fib from here to here, and price should bounce at the 50 fib, which it just did at 129.25. So if it breaks below that fib, 50 fib and 129.25 level, well, then there might be a bearish push lower again, of course, to retest the bottom. If we get a break above the 20 MA, then there could be a push up to 130 and 130.50 here, the minus 27 and minus 61.8 target. But the pound dollar really looking quite choppy and rangy. I don't know what to expect at this moment. As I said, just keeping an eye on the support for maybe a small breakout down to 128.75 and a head and shoulders level like this, or a break up and a move up into resistance. But that could easily be a bouncing spot for a move back down to the head and shoulders level. So I think it's going to stay in a range for the moment, and I don't see price necessarily breaking through the bottom at 128.50 nor through the top at 130.50. I think it's going to stay in that range for the moment. Maybe on Wednesday we can talk about a breakout in either direction, and that could make sense. For now, I don't know. I don't see it breaking. I see it staying in this zone for the moment. All right. That's it for now. Thanks for joining, and wish you all great trading. Cheers. Bye-bye.